What is up, Square Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. And today we're bringing you a gameplay that I did recently with the Beelzemon deck that I uploaded the other day against Imperialdramon. Now, I'm gonna I'm laughing because the whole purpose of this video was to showcase the Beelzemon deck, but I just got steamrolled here by Imperialdramon. So spoilers for the later parts of the video. You could totally see the levels of consistency and how different they are between the two decks. Imperialdramon kind of just opens with his XVmon and Raising and the TK as a tamer. If Imperialdramon gets a memory tamer as early as turn 1 and turn 2, it's not going to be a good time. And as you can see, all I'm generating here with my Beelzemon plays are just Impmons. I'm not getting into my champion. I'm not going up my Digivolution chain. I'm checking one security there as a fighter mode. That's nice. But I'm just removing one security. I'm not really doing anything. There's no Iron Mako tamer that I've been able to play. I'm not, milling consistently. And I don't know if it's just the way I built the deck, or if it's just I bricked. I really don't know how to explain it. In testing prior to uploading this video, I did have a couple of other games against Imperialdramon that were, 60-40 in Imperialdramon's favor, but they weren't blowouts like they are here. As you can see, the Ogremon in Raising there, Digivolving a champion over the rookie. That might have been a slight misplay. Ogremon on play has a nice ability of being able to trash one card from your hand to delete one of your opponent's 4 or less. So I should have held that, anticipating the XVmon coming out of Raising, or the Raidramon or the Stingmon being played to the board. So that was a misplay on my part. And then just going up the Digivolution chain was really difficult here. I don't think I've had any issues with my ratios in the past. I'm playing a total of 12 rookies, 10 champions, 7 ultimates. Then I have the 4 megas and the 2 blast modes. So I feel like my ratios are fine. I just didn't see enough of my pieces early on. Grabbing the tamer off of this Impmon here was really nice, but I'm already so far behind, especially because Imperial has the XVmon in Raising. They have their memory tamer, so they're always going to be at 3. And that's all you really need in Imperial, is that 3 memory to go into your combo with the DNA of the Stingmon and the XVmon, or whatever green champion that you have and blue champion that you might need. So like I said, even though it doesn't necessarily look like I'm behind on board, I definitely am behind in just overall presence, for the simple fact that once this Beelzemon hits the board here, it's just going to gain so much advantage. He does have the inheritables of the Stingmon to constantly draw. He does have the inheritable of the Demi-V and the XV gaining jamming to draw. And he does have the inheritable if you have 7 or less cards in hand on the Vmon that he will draw again. So it's just a ton of draw power in this deck, and the consistency and the search power. That's probably one of the reasons why it's one of the best decks in the game right now. Just being able to clear so many checks. See, that Myotismon insecurity would have been nice because it would have crashed, but the fact that he has jamming is just going to run right over it. And I do have my Skull Cytomon here on the board, but the problem is I'm getting choked for memory here. I mean, there's not really much I could do for the most part. He's going to go ahead and play the Vmon to look at top 4 to add the fighter mode, and from here it's just kind of, HPD, rest the Vmon, free Digivolve into Dragon mode, draw a card, Dragon mode activates and strips the 2 champions off of bottom, and you're just kind of set up. He's still at 0 memory. He's got to, pass me some amount of memory, you would think, but you're already pretty much set up for the kill turn. I do apologize for that glare there, on the light, but it's just tough. He's sitting at 0 memory right now. It looks like he's going to play 1, 2 Hammer Sparks to go to 2, and then that's kind of savage. And then we're going to play another Vmon here to choke me to 1, top 3 for a free Digimon, add the Imperial Dragon mode, and pass turn. That's another one of the reasons why this deck is just so good, is able to get its pieces, but opening up with a tamer is just disgusting. Memory tamers in Imperialdramon are just so great, giving you that extra memory. And then on the opposite spectrum of it, I was not able to get my Iron Mako out as early as I needed it to. So I'm just kind of doing as much as I can without doing anything really. there's not much I could do. I'm sitting at 2 security to my opponent's 3 or 4. And going up into my mega here is going to cost me 3 memory, and it's essentially going to pass turn. I will get the 2 mills. I will gain a memory off the inheritable off Skull Satamon, and I will be able to draw a card off of Demi-Miramon off of the mill. But that's not really going to do much. You want to play removal, you want to play stuff, but the fact that Imperialdramon can go so quickly up into its higher levels, 5s and 6s, Death Slinger is only as effective as many cards as you have in your trash. So I'm going to go ahead and swing to that Vmon, suspend the TK to draw. The opponent's going to suspend the TK to draw, so to speak here. And you're just going to see kind of where it goes. There's just not much I could do. And that's a combination of a couple of things. Beelzemon is definitely very high roll. Shout out to Mark, one of my local guys over at Gamer's Edge, from the Digimon crowd. I was having a nice conversation with him the other day. He's a very good purple player, and he was just kind of telling me the deck is very high roll. Like, if you get your stuff off, it's great, but sometimes you'll just kind of sit there and feel bad. And it's just kind of helped me out after I posted my deck profile with some ratios and stuff like that. So there's definitely cards that I could cut, or there's definitely cards I can add to make improvements. But for the most part, I wanted to get a preliminary list out because I was enjoying it so much in playing this deck out of EX2. Out of all of the EX2 decks I wanted to build, Beelzemon was the one I was most looking forward to. As we move on to game 2 here, you'll just kind of see some of the same stuff. I don't open a rookie here, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, I got my memory tamer, which is great, but I'm putting Imperial at 4, which is a lot of memory for them to do stuff with, and then just kind of get choked out of rookies here, not being able to climb as efficiently as possible. So they're going to go ahead and Digivolve Vmon for free, draw a card, X-Vmon for 2, draw a card, play TK for their memory tamer, and then now I'm playing catch-up because not only do they get their memory tamer out turn 1, but they do have their X-Vmon and raising waiting to be promoted at any given moment in time to just kind of go ahead and start wreaking havoc. I'm going to have to go ahead and hard drop the Soulmon here just because I wasn't able to get any rookies. It is nice having a memory tamer out, being able to start at 3 memory every turn, but you're playing catch-up at this point. So X-Vmon's going to go ahead and check a 1 security with jamming. You're going to get to draw 2, 1 off the inheritable of Demi-V and 1 off the inheritable of starter deck Vmon. We're going to go ahead and hard cast that Stingmon for 3 since I control a blue Digimon. We're going to feed it to the source here for DNA for Imperialdramon, draw a card. And if DNA Digivolution as a mechanic wasn't efficient enough, Imperialdramon gets the bottom deck of source at 6k or less on your opponent's side of the board. So that hard-casted Soulmon that I had to force out of my hand is now gone, and he's going to get 2 swings. He's going to get multiple draws. He's going to check my security with nothing to worry about because he has jamming. You could literally just... It's very difficult to establish against Imperialdramon or Imperialdramon. You kind of have to, raise in breeding as quickly or as efficiently as possible, and then promote when you're ready to go off because Imperialdramon can only bounce 6Ks or less to the bottom. But you kind of have to keep tempo, and that's not what Beelzemon wants to do. Beelzemon is more of a mid-range deck. It's not an aggressive deck. Imperialdramon, in my opinion, is definitely aggressive. Definitely very quick. You definitely want to kill as soon as possible. It can pivot to a later game and control with Imperialdramon fighter mode, but for the most part, you want to win when you get out. By the time you get out your first dragon mode, that's kind of what Imperialdramon wants to do. I'm gonna go ahead and for my turn, just hard cast that Ogremon there. Trash a card, kill his one of his sources. That's a cost 4 or less, and then just hope that I don't just get completely blown out. I'm sitting at 2 security. Imperialdramon's gonna check me for 1 here. On the Impmon, again, it's got jamming, so it has there's no fear here. And that sucks because that 11k Beelzemon insecurity would have been nice, but jamming is just such a powerful keyword. Vmon, search top 4 for multicolor, add Megadeth, and pass turn. So let's see what we could do. We're kind of on our wits' end here. There's not much that's left to accomplish. Again, this was supposed to be a showcase of Beelzemon out of EX2. I'll definitely revisit this deck on the channel at some point with some better matchups via gameplay, hopefully not bricking as bad. But Imperialdramon is just Imperialdramon. It's very good, it's very efficient, it's very consistent, and it is what it is, when it comes to sitting across the table from that type of a matchup. Again, Beelzemon has a really good time against other decks that want to go mid. Aggro is kind of its weak spot. There's a lot of there's a lot of luck that goes into what you check in security, and you know, just having jamming just kind of completely neutralizes that ability. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna Digivolve up into Beelzemon just so we can get him on camera. But there's not much that's gonna happen here. I did actually mill a blast mode off of this, which is nice. I get to delete a 4 or less, and I did mill 2 Impmon, so it's gonna dig me 6 cards more deep into the deck. Just a last-ditch effort to see if we can make anything else happen for this game. But that's going to go ahead and do it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything No Counters, No Combos. We really do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Be there or be squared.